So, David, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, honey, I'm about 50 years old, and I got a couple of dogs. I'm looking for a job. I don't know. What do you really want to know?
Well, that was fairly horrifying. Why? Number one, the body language. He's so sprawled all over his chair, he's almost falling out of it. Second, honey, I don't think so. And third, the content of what he told me is not the kind of information that I as an employer am looking for. He has dogs, I don't care. He's 50 years old, I'm not legally allowed to ask about his age, so why would he volunteer it? These are not the kinds of details that an employer wants to hear. When they ask, tell me about yourself, what they want to know is what you're going to be like as an employee, what skills and experience and education you have that would be useful to the company. Let's try this again. So, David, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, as you can see from my resume, I have several years of experience in an industrial setting. I worked in a warehouse where I was certified on both the pallet jack and the forklift. I've also worked in construction, and I've spent 3 years as a mechanic, so I'm not afraid to get in there and get my hands dirty. I know how to use several sets of power tools, and I have really good attention to detail.
What a difference! Why? Well, number one, the body language. Tall and confident, engaged and enthusiastic, and he looked me straight in the eye. Fantastic. Number two, the content of what he said, so much better. He went into specific detail about the kinds of equipment that he can use and the kinds of relevant experience that he's had for the construction position that he's applying for. Much better. But we can do better still, because there's one thing, the elephant in the room, that he hasn't talked about yet, and that is his criminal record. When you apply for a job, the company is going to run a background check. They're going to find out about your criminal record. The best place for them to find out is from your own lips in the interview, where you can talk about it on your terms. Let's see what that might look like. So, David, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, as you can see from my resume, I've got several years of experience in an industrial setting. I worked in a warehouse where I was certified on both the forklift and the pallet jack, and I've done several months in construction. That's when my career went off the rails, and I made some really stupid mistakes, and I wound up getting locked up. While I was inside, though, I decided I was going to really turn it around, and I signed up for all the mentoring programs I could get into and all the vocational and educational experience that I could get. So I even got hired on at the prison motor pool, where I spent 3 years working as a mechanic. I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. I know how to use several sets of power tools, and I think these would be really good assets for your company.
Very well done. This is a tricky subject to discuss, but he handled it well. He took the blame upon himself for the situation that he fell into, but much more importantly, he focused on the steps he's taken to pull himself out of that situation. He talked about classes he's taken and relevant experience that he had while he was in prison that are going to be an asset to me as an employer. Very nicely done.